everybody, welcome to the program launch webinar with Vaasa University of Applied Sciences. I am Harshita, your host for today, and I am part of University Partnerships team at upGrad Abroad. I am here today to welcome you to our webinar, where we'll be discussing the launch of our new master courses with Vaasa University of Applied Sciences. To tell you a little bit more about the institution, Vaasa University of Applied Sciences was founded in 1996. It is a prestigious, state-funded, and internationally recognized higher education institution. Nestled in the heart of Finland's energy epicenter, Vaasa boasts 3,400 students and a vibrant community spirit. Fueling modern progress, Vaasa pioneers engineering, energy tech, export savvy, and healthcare finance. Its dynamic program extends worldwide, partnering with 100 esteemed institutions. A global mindset ignites learning, painting an expansive canvas for students. So our webinar will also include two guests from Vaasa University, who will be joining in some time. So we'll just wait for 5 minutes for them to join in quickly, and they can tell you a little bit more about the university, about the courses, and about the opportunities that these courses bring in on the table for you. Till that time, we would request you to fill a short survey for us. This is a survey which will help us also get your feedback, and also it will be better for you to give you a better clarity on what kind of courses upGrad Abroad offers. So we'll paste the link in the chat box. You can fill in that particular survey, and I would like to announce here that all the few of the lucky and few of the learners will get exciting Amazon vouchers as well. So please feel free to fill this particular survey, and also, in case you have any questions related to this particular course in your mind, please feel free to add your questions as well.
Hi, everybody. Wishing all of you a very good evening. I'll introduce myself. I'm Praneeth. I'm the Chief of Partnerships for upGrad Abroad. At upGrad, we're looking at schools across the world that can make higher ed more affordable, more equitable, more flexible, and way more democratized than it's ever been for Indian learners. And so Finland is one of the parts of the world which we wanted to explore, especially because one, it's very economically advanced. Two, it is one of the most robust European economies. Three, the per capita income in Finland is about 11,900 euros higher than any other country in Europe per se on an average. Now, a couple of things about Finland that you guys should know is that the language barrier relative to any other country across Europe is much, much, much lesser. A couple of our schools in Finland, including the one we're talking about right now on this webinar, are all state funded, state accredited, state approved, and state run. And Finland is not only economically very affordable, but also one of the most highly rated higher ed systems in the world. It's actually the fourth best higher ed system in the world, which makes Finland a very important, a very significant part of any student's study abroad journey. That said, we wanted to host this webinar to especially garner your opinion of what is it that you'd like to ask us about Finland, and also introduce our course MBA, a Master of Business Administration degree in International Business Management, that we brought from a government school in Finland, which is fully taught and instructed in English. But not only that, like I said, because the language barrier is really low, it's easier for some of you to navigate and find jobs both for part-time and full-time employment. The other very important part of Finland is that Finland gives you a combined or a joint visa for your study and for your job seeking rights. So at the onset, because an MBA is a 1.5 year course, you start with an online course through upGrad from an American school called Golden Gate. You move to Finland, you complete 12 months of your remaining course of MBA. Right when you graduate, you get 2 years of post-study work visa. And right after, you just need 1 more year of your job extension. And right after, you get a PR. So settling in Finland, obtaining a PR in Finland, getting a full-time employment in Finland, the longevity of your career in Finland especially is a lot more than any other part of the world. That way, these are some of the factors that make Finland very, very, very attractive, especially when you're looking at rebooting or starting your career from afresh. Now, like I said, because I'm here to answer some of your questions, concerns, doubts, I'd love to know what is it that you've asked. So Pura wants to know, what are the opportunities after doing management courses in Finland? Well, look, like I said, the second part I've already answered. The language barrier is relatively lesser, especially because it's a very advanced economy. It's a very internationalized economy. Over the last 1 year, Finland has been so vocal through its government across the world that they really need student mobility. They really need foreign talent. They need a skilled workforce, which is why they're inviting Indians like ourselves who are super skilled and can find or look for a job in Finland after having obtained a Finnish degree. That makes Finland one of the most attractive study abroad nations in the world. The second part, Finland's economy. So Finland thrives on three major sectors. One, ICT, information, communication, technology, ICT, starting with Nokia. So Finland is a good hotspot for some of the individuals who've got background from electrical, electronic, computing, information technology. All of these are high in demand as domains in Finland, and you get jobs that are heavily paid, jobs that have salaries north of about 50,000 euros. That's the kind of lucrative economy that Finland has. The second best sector in Finland is green economy. The generation of sustainable and renewable energy sources. They're big on solar, big on hydro, they're big on electrical, they're big on any renewable source that they're actually building. So across Europe, Finland is one of the major hotspots of renewable energy or green economy, which gives you a lot of job in finance, in supply chain, in manufacturing, especially some of the best consulting companies in the world are based in Finland. Essentially because Finland is one of that centers of Europe that govern the European economy, especially in terms of green transition. This part of what Finland economy is good for is called circular economy. Circular economy typically means, how do I redesign and reframe the entire supply chain of any company or the entire manufacturing or value chain of any company to make sure that it's much more sustainable than ever before, that the wastage is brought down at every order of the supply chain, first order, second order, third order, fourth order, until the goods are ready to be sold. All of those processes, structures, value chains are redesigned. That's one of the job roles that Finland has in abundance. Third is the role of a project manager. PM is one of the most sought after jobs in Finland, especially because it's a huge IT hub. I don't know if you guys know, but Nokia, which is a Finnish company, since the day they've stopped manufacturing phones or they pulled out of that line, they're one of the biggest ICT hotspots in the world, which means they own more than 30% of the 5G standard essential patents that are ever filed. And SEP is who owns that technology. So Nokia owns more than 30% of 5G SEPs. which are standard essential patents. That's one part. Nokia is also one of the most leading manufacturers of Bluetooth devices. Bluetooth technology patents, more than 50% are owned by Nokia. That makes it very robust, so they need a lot of PMs because they lies with a lot of manufacturers like Mercedes or most of these German firms and French firms. Third, Finland has a huge economy for hospitality. They are one of the leading players in the European economy for hospitality. That's another job role. So I hope I've answered you. And of course, look, in a thriving economy like Finland, you will have, of course, all kinds of roles, but the role of a PM, the role of someone who's a specialist in AI, someone who's a specialist in machine learning, someone who's a specialist in computer science and information technology is always in abundance. So it makes a lot of sense. I have a question here that says, we have spare time from our routine, so it's important to know. Important to know what? So just let me know what. I want to do masters in business analytics. Yes, we have that. So like I said, the structure of the course is built in a way, if you're a working professional, if you're a fresh grad, if you can't immediately move abroad, the best possible thing to do is to start with upGrad in India. You do 6 months of coursework online, and then you immediately move abroad to Finland and pursue 12 months of your MBA degree and immediately move into your career. The career that you will build yourself in Finland would need you to spend 3 years until you get a PR, and then the longevity of your span of experience in Finland is, of course, much higher once you have a PR. And once you have a PR, because Finland is a Schengen, is a part of the Schengen states in Europe, you can actually move across Europe and find work. So that's what it is.
I have a question. So
Yes.
one of the questions that we received during our poll was that, will language also play as a barrier here? Like you need to know the Finnish language?
Yeah, sure. So the medium of instruction for this degree is English. You actually do not need to know Finnish as a language, at least when you're working for IT or business related roles, because these are very international roles. But let's say you want to navigate life in Finland. Let's say if you're looking at spending your life or moving to Finland for good, of course, it is inevitable that you learn Finnish. It is not only necessary, but helpful for you to learn Finnish. So that said, I think during your study coursework, you don't really need it, but eventually you will. So I recommend that you really start learning it, at least when you move on campus. For your jobs, whether they're IT or business or XYZ, you don't need it, like I said, but navigating life is important. But you will get enough time for yourself to learn Finnish. And some of the schools in Finland also introduce Finnish language classes for you to learn and for you to develop your capability in speaking Finnish language, right? You can ask me the next ones and I'll keep answering. But I did see they wanted to know a little bit about the course modules. I'll request my colleague Harshita to pull up the module set of the MBA that we have at the Vaasa University of Applied Sciences. Meanwhile, I'll answer a very important query or doubt that I received from a lot of students. What is really a technical university or TU, and what is a applied sciences school? Now, TUs essentially in Europe are very research intensive. They are very theory intensive. They are more favorable when you're looking at research. They are your go-to institutes if you're looking at academically excelling so that you become a teacher or that you're academically more invested. And it's a very research-based thing. Whereas applied sciences are very practical, experiential schools. And these are also run by the government. like VAMC, the school I was talking to you about, the one that we're launching through this webinar, is also run by the government, but applied sciences just simply means that it's very technical. It's exactly what the industry needs you to study. It's exactly what the talent deficit in that country is about, and ways that you can fulfill it or fill it by your uh, by virtue of what you're learning in the university. That's applied sciences. So this school that we're talking about is an applied sciences school per se, right? Let's move forward. Then we've got one more question that says Finnish language is required while applying for PR. How do we deal with that? That's one excellent thing that you could have asked me. Look, all schools in Finland, especially government schools in Finland, would hold or convene classes for you to learn Finnish towards the end of the day. So all your evenings, you will learn Finnish as a language. You've got that option. It's a very democratized setup. And I really encourage you to learn Finnish. It makes sense. Doing your PR, even if you've got to do it until B1, that's a proficiency of the language enough for you to survive and navigate life in Finland. It makes a lot of sense. So I would rather encourage it. Meanwhile, I'll just take you through some of the modules that we have. So Harshita, can you take me to the GGU curriculum to begin with, and then I'll eventually take students through WAM. So like I said, through upGrad, we make it so affordable and we shorten the length of your degree in Finland, so much so that you're only supposed to spend 12 months in Finland and not 18 months, cutting down on 6 months of your tuition fee, 6 months of your living costs. Essentially, that cumulatively means about, say, at least 10 lakh rupees of savings just because you're going through upGrad. So in upGrad, this is what you do. You do fundamentals of business, business analytics, teamwork, management, marketing management, and corporate finance. You do these courses for about 7 months right after you move to Finland. Harshita, can you take me to the modules at the Finnish university? Now, here's the important bit. Someone here asked me, what is it? What kind of jobs will I get? What kind of industries are thriving in Finland? What kind of sectors are thriving in Finland? Now, here's the important bit. Like I said, Finland is one of the biggest hotspots of green economy, the biggest hotspots of sustainable development. So you will see in the business management and developmental modules, this is what you have. Lean Six Sigma is a QM course. I also told you, Finland is a big hotspot for PMs across the world. They are in deep demand of project managers to handle their ICT industry. Their biggest industry is that which deals with telecom, electronics, electrical, computing, and information technology. They need PMs to liaise with some of the international clients that they work with, some of these firms, and that could be you. So that's what we also teach you at the university in Finland. Organizational development, marketing, because this is an MBA, of course you learn more of the important things, which are very modular, but very important in terms of functional know-how, finance, marketing, analytics, organizational development, quant call. So all of this is done and worked around with. What you have in business management and development is what you learn there. Now, about 6 months, like I said, are waived off because you're starting with upGrad. That's what I was showing you, that 16 ECTS are waived off. So Europe works on a concept called ECTS, European Credit Transfer System. Now, 5 ECTS is what each course, from 3 to 5 is what each course is worth. Every ECTS is about 30 hours of study, right? So that said, you get about 16 ECTS, about 480 hours of core modules waived off. You don't need to repeat that because you learned that with upGrad. And then you've got your optional studies where 14 ECTS, 420 more hours of electives or free choice studies are waived off. That's what upGrad does. We help you save at least 9 to 10 lakhs of cost that you would have borne on tuition and living expenses. And you could save that because you can start with us right now, do the first 6 months here, and then move to Finland. Harshita, we can we can stop the screen sharing, and meanwhile, I'll take more questions. For a job as a project management in ICT, do we need to be of that particular background? Hey, excellent. Now, here's what we need to do. Finland's economy is such that, of course, it's very business intensive. Even with ICT, they need a lot of managerial skills. What really helps is if you got a business or, if you got a business or engineering degree, but also what really helps is if you've got a managerial experience, at least 1 or 2 or 3 years. Now, here's the caveat. You can't not have experience because that's mandatory. 2 years of your managerial or your regular work experience is required for you to apply into Finland. Into a Finnish MBA. It's required. It's necessary. So, like I said, you don't have to be exactly from the IT background, but you have to be managerial by virtue of your experience, or you should have studied management per se. However, we have a degree in Finland. So the capital of Finland is Helsinki. We've got a university in Helsinki called the Haga-Hilia University of Applied Sciences that also has an engineering degree. It has an MBA in business technologies that does take engineers as well. So both ways you're safe. If you want a very relevant degree, you've got that. But if you want, so here's an important thing. There are certain degrees, and of course, I think you should know because you're searching for studying abroad. There is a concept in the UK called conversion degrees. All of MBAs across the world are always conversion degrees. That means you can be from any goddamn background in the world and still move into an MBA. You just need to do a little bit of foundation. That's what upGrad's doing. But upGrad's not just giving you a foundational coursework, they're helping you save 1 semester. So from 18 months, your MBA comes down to 12 months, which gives you more time to build a lucrative career for yourself, the longevity of which is higher because Finland supports it. Finland says, hey, you know what? You come over, we'll give you 1 year of study visa, 2 years of job seeking. The day you have a job, we'll give you 1 more year and you get a PR. So that's what is important that you guys should know about Finland.
And also, sir, one more question. Since you were mentioning about Helsinki, so I understand for today's webinar, we are doing it with Pharmac University. That is located in Vaasa. So we have not heard that much about Vaasa. So can you elaborate a little bit about Vaasa?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Vaasa is on the western coast of Finland. It makes a lot of sense. It's a center for trade. It's a center for commerce. It's a very significant city for the Finnish economy. It's got a lot of HQs that are based in Finland. And I also forgot to mention to you guys that Finland is one of the biggest gaming hubs in Europe. Not to play games, but to make them. So there are 2 or 3 leading gaming manufacturers. If you heard about the company called Supercell, the company that makes Clash of Clans, a company called Rovio, which is one of the leading gaming companies in the world. Then you've got a company called eCell, Nvidia. Some of these bigger names are all based in Finland. So Vaasa gives you a lot of job ops, at least from that standpoint. It's a good center for trade, and that means more internationalized economy, right?
Great.
So that makes. We've got one more here that's asking, is it possible without an exam? Now, here's what I forgot to mention, you guys. The Finnish economy or the Finnish government does not need international students to have an IELTS scorecard. That's the biggest selling point of Finland at this point. It doesn't need IELTS. You can easily get into an MBA in Finland, unlike any other part of the world, without IELTS. But essentially, the medium of instruction for your degree should have been English. Your last qualification should have been in English. So that said, let me take some more questions. The tax system of Finland, Haider, you'll have to do your research, or I will get back to you with my team because I'm not an expert on that front at all. I may need time to answer that. Is work experience
There's
required? Yes,
Yeah,
please.
there's one very interesting question. First of all, okay, I'll link both the questions. Firstly, is any work experience is required for this particular course? Secondly, if yes, then there's also a question which is very interesting, that there is a specialization in international business management. Then there's another specialization, business analytics. So which one would you prefer more when we consider Finland as a country?
I think, like I said, Finnish government has been very forthright and vocal in the recent 12 months about opening up their economy. Similar to what India did in about 1990s. When they open source their economy, that becomes a center for FDI. A lot of foreign companies start investing in these economies, and it makes a lot of sense. So I think international business development as a specialized track equips some of the MBA holders to enable Finnish companies to venture abroad and vice versa. And I think that makes you highly eligible for some of the MNCs that operate out of Finland. So I think international business development would be my pick for Finland. Like I said, on a rating of 1 to 10, people with project management skills are number 9 in terms of their need in Finland. People who can design IT systems or networks, who can do AI or machine learning, or I'd rate them 9.5 on a scale of 10 with terms of how much they're required. How many backlogs? Also, I think we've got our partner, our university partner with us, Juha, who I'd like to introduce. So Juha is the Director for International Relations at the Vaasa University of Applied Sciences. Juha is with us here. Juha, we just want to test if your mic's working, your camera's working.
Can you hear me?
Yes, 100%. Hi.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
now I'm okay.
Now it's
I was
working.
muted. Yes, so we had technical difficulties, so
Yes.
No worries.
now we are able to
That is
log
wonderful.
in.
It's great to
Yeah.
host you. I'm just going to introduce the two of you. So, Yuva and Sami are from WAMP, the Vaasa University of Applied Sciences. We were, in fact, just talking to students about the degree offering, life in Finland, why Finnish economy is one of the most sought after economies in the world. Just talking about the leading industries in Finland, and why ICT or PM or IBM makes so much sense than ever before to study in Finland, and the dominance that Finland has when it comes to how advanced it is in terms of its economical practices, and why international business is a coveted skill set in Finland. So that said, I leave the stage to you. I let Harshita host you to ask you different things that students have asked us. But I think you guys can take a minute to introduce the university, a minute to introduce yourself. And then we've got a lot of students here willing to ask you questions, Yuha and Sani. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So I can share my screen. I have a presentation, but I think if you already told about Finland and stuff, so I can talk about our school. I have some slides about VAMK and Vaasa as a city. So I think I can go straight forward to that.
Yes, we can get that done. The other part is I'll just let Harshita, so the two of you can take half a minute each to introduce yourself. And I let Harshita, who is also on this webinar from my team, to ask you a couple of things that students had asked me while I was giving them more information about Finland, about the university. And then maybe you can use some of your slides to answer that better. Like, for example, I didn't yet cover what kind of jobs are there. I didn't yet cover how does part-time landscape look like. I didn't yet cover how does a week in the life of a student look like at WAMP. So you can do all of that. I'm leaving you in the capable hands of Harshita, and she will take it forward with you guys.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Actually, I'm not able to share my screen, so if you could give me credentials for that, it says like host
yes. We'll just
disabled.
give you
Oh,
co-hosting,
yeah.
right?
Meanwhile,
you.
both of you can introduce yourselves, and
Yes.
we're just
Okay.
working on giving you the rights. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
yeah, sure. I can start. So hi, my name is Sanni Saari, and I work as a marketing and communication specialist here in Vaasa University of Applied Sciences, and I also do international marketing. So that's why I'm here today representing VAMC and telling you more about our school.
Yeah. So, and my name is Juha Vierola, and I'm head of student services here at Vaasa University of Applied Sciences, and I'm in charge of the student services and of course, and then admissions, and then also prepare tuition fees and also scholarship criteria and such, so for the prospective students.
Great. We are delighted to have both of you here today. And meanwhile, you guys were joining in, we discussed a couple of things here related to Finland as an economy and the opportunities that are there. Also, we discussed briefly about Vaasa as a city and how is it as exciting as to be in Helsinki. So yeah, and also we have given also a little bit brief about the program also. And we would like you, can you just check if you your screen sharing now, if you can able to?
Yes, yes, now I can share it.
Yeah. So you can talk about the program in general and also about the career opportunities that are there. And we can meanwhile also, I'll keep on asking questions in the middle in case I feel like any question is related to the information that you'll be sharing. So over to both of you, please take it ahead. Yeah.
Yes, okay. I need to put the slideshow on. So I need to make a new share. 1 second. Yes, so can you now see the full screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I will start a little bit about VAMC. So we have 3,500 students here, and 10% of those students are international students, so about 350. And the fields of education we provide are business technology and healthcare. But we have English programs in business and technology only. And then I will skip Finland part, but I will briefly tell about Vaasa. So we have 68,000 people here, a lot of students. Every fifth person in the street you meet is a university student. So we have a lot of those because we have 6 universities here. And we speak 2 languages, Finnish and Swedish, fluently combined in everyday life. And also Finnish people's English skills are among the best in the world. And briefly, Vaasa is known for its energy cluster here. And also we have a lot of energy technology global businesses here and companies. And then also Vaasa aims to be the world's happiest city, and it is said to be the sunniest city in Finland. And we have like really short distances and rarely traffic jams, because traffic jams are rare basically everywhere in Finland. We don't have that many traffic jams
especially
here.
when compared to India. So
yes, so we don't have practically any.
Yeah, so we have a population of 5 million only, so no jams.
Yes. And then in VAMC, we have a really sympathetic and agile community among students and among our staff. And then our campus is located in the in the heart of the city of Vaasa, so it's really close to the city center. So we have short distances here, which is really easy. And also we have 100 partner universities, and for students we have energy academic mentoring program, a link between students and work life, and also energy talent program to boost our students' employment. And for international degree students, we offer an early bird discount and supportive scholarship model, which Juha will be talking about in a minute. And also we have a really high employment rate, and we provide 2-year stay back visa for international graduate students. And all in all, students' employment rate is 82.3% after graduation, which is really high, among the best in Finland, yes. And then you already talked about our master degrees, but here are they briefly presented. So we have 4 in all, and today we're mainly focused on the international business management. So now Juha can continue from here.
So Sami, before we move ahead, since you were mentioning that there's a really good employment rate, so can you highlight a little bit more about the career opportunities that the learners would have? Like once they exit from this particular course, what are the kind of options, what are the kind of salary structures that they could be expecting to earn?
Yes. So Juha, do you have any specific
well, yes. So I can talk in general. So the students who graduate with their master degree, so the salary level is quite high in Finland, and usually, of course, then helps getting better positions. So this is also equivalent to master degree in the university. So in Finland we have this education model that we have like theoretical universities and then universities of applied sciences. So it's equal to master degree then. For example, this international business management that we offer, but in general, so the salary level is quite high, and positions are of course possible. And as Sanni mentioned, so again, there's a cluster that we are having, especially now here in Vaasa. So it is one of the biggest in the northern countries. So we have many major big companies here, Wärtsilä and ABB and many these kind of big companies, worldwide international companies. So it's possible to get the positions from these companies as well. Of course, also from elsewhere in Finland. So I think these are the opportunities then, and of course, specialist level task usually. I think in the business field. So and also most of the students already who are studying, so many, especially the students, Finnish students, so they already have some kind of position, and then they are improving their skills then by completing the master degree that they already own the bachelor degree, and then they want to enhance their possibilities in the work life and such. So many possibilities.
Yeah, thanks, Juha. So what I've understood from what you're mentioning here is that few of the opportunities, like if I would say career options, as in business development manager, then supply chain manager, then project manager, risk manager, all these things are, all these kind of opportunities is something that learners can expect them to see once they exit from this.
Yeah, of course, and also in regards of the project management, so we also have another degree program, master degree program for that purpose also, and students with business background with Bachelor of Business Administration, they can also apply for this project management program. So it is very attractive program as well, also as this international business management.
So you and Sani, one important question that we have seen from a lot of learners and is coming up again and again is a certain set of work experience also required? If yes, is it mandatory to have a work experience?
Yes, it's mandatory to have the 2 years of work experience in the relevant field. So that is based on the legislation here in Finland. When you are applying to master degrees at the universities of applied sciences, so then it is required that the applicant has the 2 years of work experience in the relevant field. So in this case, for example, when applying to master program in international business, so business management, so then the relevant field is then business basically. But it is mandatory, yes.
Okay, perfect. You can continue. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yes. So we have this. Here's some general information regarding the program, about the tailored program, and of course, so this is 90 ECTS program what we are having, and now the pathway what I'm also about the tell afterwards. So we are having the pathway structure now. So 30 ECTS done through the pathway, and then 60 ECTS at PAMC. So, and these 30 credits are then fully credit transferred to the degree studies here after this pathway. And of course, then you are able to, there are certain degree structure with compulsory studies, of course, but then it's also possible to include also pre-choice studies and these kind of studies also from other higher education institutions, and then transfer them to the degree here at WAMC. So it's quite flexible then. And well, the teaching method, this blended degree program would be having for the masters. So basically it's done both online and on campus. So and in recent years, mostly also online studies. So quite flexible then also for the students who are, for example, already working and they want to combine the work and then the student life or studies. So then it's also flexible in that sense. And what else? Well, you can change the slide, I think, Sanni, here.
Yes.
Yeah, so here's also more information. Yeah, so as mentioned, it was 90 ECTS and 30 credits can be done through the pathway, and then the thesis is 30 ECTS out of this 90. So, and 90 ECTS means that it's 1.5 year duration then for this degree program. So roughly 1 to 1.5 years here at WAMC then. So, and then there's also this general information regarding the program here, and also about the positions, for example. For example, you can apply for PhD studies also with the master's then. Yeah, so you can also, yes, and here's a little bit about the tuition fees and scholarship criteria. So the master degree is currently, the fee is 9,000 euros per academic year, but now for the next intake, autumn 24, we are most likely then increasing it a bit, so to 10,000 euros annually. And basically now when we are talking about 1.5 year degree or 1 year, so then it's roughly 1 year annual fee that should be then paid for the studies. But of course, then we have the early bird discount, as Sanni mentioned. So this is 1,500 euros discount from the first tuition fee. Then if the study place is confirmed within 7 days of the publication of this admission results, so then it's possible to get the discount also. And the scholarship now, so we are now shifting to new scholarship model for the next intake. So it is based mostly now on Finnish language skills. So we will also publish more information in this regards during this month actually on our website. So then we provide all the details regarding this. But it's basically based on the Finnish language skills, as the previous model was based on the academic performance mostly. So now it's more language-based scholarship criteria, and then it's possible to get the merit-based scholarship at the end of studies also. So that is for a few good students, so then they are able to get the merit-based scholarship as well. Yes. So, and there's a link to our website for more information as well. Yeah.
So you have, before we move ahead, one of the very interesting questions that we can see here is the kind of salaries that the learners will be drawing versus the fees that this program has. So what kind of ROI or what kind of opportunity is there? Yeah.
Well, after the graduation, the salary level, or was it about this? Yeah. So the salary level in Finland, I think in general, it's 3,500 euros per month. So I think that is the average level here in Finland. So, but with the master degrees and depending on the position, of course, after graduation, So it can vary anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 or something, depending on the position, of course. But then if you are talking about the basically during the studies, so then there are some restrictions, for example, because of the residence permit. So it is possible to, it is 30 hours per week, if I remember right. It is possible to like work and study. So if the residence permit is issued for the study purposes, so then the hours that can be done during the week are a little bit limited then. So it then depends also that. So basically two things: after graduation or during the graduation, and so that is basically sets the limits to the working hours and also the salary level.
I think after graduation that you mentioned is quite reasonable, and it's really good, the kind of opportunity that the learners are getting.
So that is the average salary level in Finland. So and then usually I don't have the detailed statistics at the moment, but the applicants or students who complete the master, so they end up in good positions more likely than the with basically with lower education. So that is the basically why we of course want to improve the masters here at VAMC as well.
Great. One more question. Since you're mentioning about this particular course, is double masters also allowed? Like, for example, if a learner has already completed MBA or any master's degree from any country, are they allowed to do a double masters in Finland?
So there are no limitations. So for example, to this degree program, if one is applying through the joint application, for example, so then it's possible to apply with the bachelor degree or with the master degree as well. So as long as it's completed in the field of business, but both of them gives eligibility to apply here. So basically, it doesn't mean if the student already has the MBA degree from some other country, it's possible to do another degree here. Also, and in that sense, also, I think most of the studies would be also credit transfer to the degree if the studies are similar to the previous education. So then it's possible to shorten the study time as well, and also then it affects the fee as well if one graduates earlier. So then it's also in that sense profitable.
Yeah, this makes sense. Also, one more question. Like, for example, if a learner has a degree in has a master's degree in the same course, then will that learner get an exemption for the work experience, or a learner coming from with a master's degree would also be needing a relevant work experience?
The 2 years of work experience, it's always required when applying to masters. So regardless of the background, basically, so it is required from the students. But of course, then in regards of the studies themselves, so then it's possible to get exemption from the certain study programs, of course, study units, and then apply for credit transfer. And then, but otherwise, the work experience that is always required, so that cannot be exempted, unfortunately, due to the legislation. So our hands are pretty much tied in this, so we cannot use discretion.
One of the questions that we can see here is, I have completed BCom as my part of my undergraduate degree, and I have 5 years of work experience in finance. Am I eligible for this particular program?
Yes. So in that sense, so if the student has 5 years of work experience and can prove the experience by submitting the documents, work certificates and such, so then it should be okay. So, and of course, then we always evaluate the eligibility during the admission process, but with the information provided, so students would be eligible for the program.
So for MBA International Business Management, you mentioned that the relevant work experience would be in the case in the category of business, the field of business. So finance will now if we break this business into industries, then which all industries would you feel would be acceptable for this particular course?
It's a quite a large term when we are talking about the business, but for example, accounting, finance, and such, they are all okay to then and gives eligibility to apply. So basically, this field in a business, it's not so specific as long as it's a like a Bachelor of Business Administration degree, finance or something related. Yes, and also the work experience must be then related to this business. Then again, finance or something marketing or such.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Yes, and here's a slide about the pathway, so that we are now cooperating. So we have agreed that the 30 cities can be done in the pathway, and then basically, if you apply through the pathway, so then it's possible to apply without any like further testing, entrance examinations or such. So then the pathway studies themselves give the eligibility, and of course then the 2 years of work experience then again is required, but otherwise no testing. And then if one would apply through the joint application system that we have in Finland, so then we make the admission on the basis of these interview video tasks. So that is also online. So and basically then applicant can upload the video to the application, and then we evaluate the video then. But that is then for the joint application. So it depends on the route that or the way application, whether it's joint application or separate application, then so the criteria varies a bit. Yes, but English language certificate is not required. I think that was also asked before the meeting. So for the masters, there are no requirements for the English language certificate. That is only for the bachelors at the moment. Yes, so that is the admission criteria in a nutshell. So it depends whether you apply to the joint application or separate application. And now the admission criteria only concerns the MBA here, but also if you apply through the joint application, we have the same actually the same criteria for all masters. So the interview video task is the way to go then. All right. Are there more slides? No questions at this point.
Yeah, a little bit about our own values.
Yeah. And this can be also found on our website if you are interested in our values. So these are all visible then. Sympathy and pioneering and customer-driven openness. So these are our values.
Yes. And we have the last slide, and here are all our social media accounts. If you're interested to follow us on LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook, we post on a daily basis in English as well. So feel free to join and look for our posts and ask questions also there if anything comes up. But yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sani and Yuva. And since we are running a little bit short on time, so I'll just quickly take 2-3 questions, which we have. Yeah. So one of the questions is, I have finished PhD in humanities for career advance, and I would now like to pursue MBA. Can I apply for this program?
Yes. So it's possible to apply with the bachelor degree, master degree, and basically then we would approve the PhD as well. So because it usually reverses the situation that person already owns the previous degree as well.
What I also think is really important to answer is, would Finland be okay with a double masters?
Yeah, so there are no limitations if you mean by double master that one completes already has the master degree in some other field. So yeah, so it's possible to complete another degree here. Got it. Basically as many as student wants. So yeah, no limitations.
the other part I wanted to know from you was, is there an age limit for students who wanting to do an MBA or a master's in Finland?
No, no age limit. So basically, as long as this student is at least 18 or has the eligibility, basically that is the case. I think so. The eligibility criteria is okay, and it can be proven that the student has actually completed the degree that he or she says, but no age limit. So in that sense, so no limitation.
Got it. The other part which I'm really intrigued to ask you is, how do you really compare Finland with robust economies like Germany and France? I mean, what is it that makes Finland one of the hottest study abroad hotspots in the world for Indian students? And I want you to talk a little bit more about Finland's requirement of skilled workforce across the world.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, the skilled workforce is pretty much required at the moment. So and also from abroad. So and also here in Vaasa and at MAMK, so we have many international students. So we have 300 students at the moment with international backgrounds, and also many Indian students here at MAMK. So and it is of course needed very much, as mentioned. So in many fields, business and engineering and DESI especially. So and of course, and the big companies, they are also in demand of the much workforce also from abroad. So we see it very important here in Finland.
Got it. And in terms of engineering, manufacturing, or the green economy, how do you rank Finland across Europe? As in, why would an Indian student, or why should, in your opinion, an Indian student come to Finland over France or Germany?
Well, what can I don't, well, what is the what can I say here? So well, basically, I can speak on behalf of MAMK and Vaasa, of course. For example, in regards to green technology and such. So of course, we offer also degree programs here in these fields, so energy technology and such. So that is then, I think, key part of our success here also. And then we have, I think, very well developed these basically for the green economy and such here in Vaasa and Finland. So I think in that sense we are good alternative to Germany or other European countries. And of course, then the climate here is very attractive. So we have very pure then this nature and environment. So it is good to be here and compared to many other countries. So and it's not always cold in Finland. So that is usually taken granted. So that it's always winter and always snowing. But for example, I think earlier this week we had 32 degrees Celsius here in Finland. So it is not always winter here or dark.
Yeah, which is what most of us actually think, that it's always going to be cold and always going to be dark in Finland. Got it. So the other bit of this, the only other last piece that I really want to know from you is, apart from ICT, apart from management firms, apart from green economy, what kind of talent does Finland really need at this point? What kind of students are going to be more in demand, and which kind of degree? I mean, does an MBA actually make them more coveted or more desired as workforce in Finland?
Well, I then now again speak on behalf of MAMK basically. So of course we are looking and seeking like qualified applicants who are also motivated to be here to complete their degree, and of course then hoping them to stay in Finland after graduation and also get the jobs here. And so that is our, for example, in terms of now of the scholarship criteria I mentioned. So we are encouraging the language skills to improve the Finnish language skills. Of course, it's possible to work with English also in the big companies here in Finland, but of course then to get to know the society better and get more into it. So So in that sense, so we are looking for skilled workforce and students and who are motivated to learn and complete the degree here and blend in. So more of the quality part and not the quantity.
Got it. So I'd love to summarize what we spoke about. Essentially, what as
your voice is breaking.
Yeah, it's interrupting. Yeah,
and a high academic rigor that is being offered in Finland. It's one to academic background. Sorry, is it better? Okay,
yeah,
give me 1 second. I'll just switch my network. One moment, please. One moment, please. One moment, please. Do you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to summarize for everybody who's here. So essentially, VAMK is a state-accredited, state-approved, state-funded University of Applied Sciences in Finland. Finland is, of course, like I said, one of the most robust economies, one of the most digitally advanced economies in Europe, which is welcoming in its MBA, MS degree in international business management. Students from all academic backgrounds, 2 years of relevant work experience. And like I said, Finland has jobs for almost every industry, including management, hospitality, green economy, and engineering, manufacturing. All of that said, what upGrad's doing is making that degree more equitable and democratized for Indian students like yourself, who can start in India right now as I speak to you and go for the next possible intake in Finland, shorten their length of degree by almost 6 months, but also reduce their living expenses and tuition by 1 semester. So it makes sense. You get a longer time to build your career, find a job, find employability, and you also get a similar degree like any other regular student who's studying for 18 months would. With upGrad, it becomes much more easier. I'd request my colleague Harshita to share a short survey link. This survey link is really, really, really important. What we want to do as upGrad Abroad is make the webinar experience more tailored for you, more bespoke for you, more personal for you. And we really want to convene webinars on topics and themes that suit you and what you want to know from us. So do you want us to host more schools like WAMK, bring to you some of the best schools in the world, including WAMK? Or do you want us to talk about different domains that are there or different parts of the world where you can study your scholarships? So take the survey. It's super short, super quick, and get a chance to win an Amazon voucher. We're also giving those away. So just make sure that you're doing it. But what I would request you guys to do is fill this survey with utmost integrity and sincerity, because we really want to know what you think like. And in the interim, Juha and Sami, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. It has been an absolute delight and pleasure to host you guys. Any final word for our student on Finland? Why should Finland still be one of the hottest study abroad attractions that we have for Indian students? You are, Sani? Any final
thought? So it was a question. All right. Yeah. Closing arguments. Yeah. Well, of course. So we are hoping to see you in Vaasa, Finland. So next autumn. So that is my closing argument, and we are well.
Thanks.
Basically, well renowned. Basically, good institution providing high-level education. So, of course, choose VAMK.
Yes, and I would like to say that because Vaasa is so international city, So it would be a pleasure to have more Indian students, and we have also Indian community here. So it would be really nice if you will be interested for applying VAMC. And also in school we have like a big international student community, and because Finnish people also speak English so well, it won't be a problem to speak only English until you learn a bit more about Finnish as well.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being one wonderful guest. If there's any question at all, please refer or redirect those to my email address, praneet.singh@upgrad.com. But meanwhile, we've put down a survey link that I request all of you to take to help us know you guys better and make webinar experiences better and more suited for you personally. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much, Sani and Huha, for joining us from Finland. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. It was
Thank
a
you very much.
pleasure.
Likewise,
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.